Okay, perfect. So hello everybody, good evening. Welcome back to another session on Complete Java tutorial. This is the last session on Complete Java tutorial and that is lesson number 23. Uh, Good evening everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. This is the last session which is lesson number 23 and we are going to understand about collection framework. So already we have completed everything about Java. I think most of the things, if one or two things have been left, I'm sorry for that, but you can actually do it on your own. I don't think major topics have been left. This is one of the major topic, and I think all other topics have been covered. Let it be a file handling, exception handling, or any kind of OOPS concepts or any particular small topic as well. We have covered it, right? So if you are new here and you do not, if you have not seen the complete Java tutorial playlist, please go ahead and watch it so that you get an idea that what all things I have covered and how good sessions were. You can go ahead and watch it. Also, just giving an idea what is happening here. So we are CodeBeyond channel. We are providing different topics, different domain knowledge in different areas. So different educators are there for these all languages and knowledges, and we are sharing each of these in our live sessions. Already there are so many topics which we have covered, and I have also covered front-end programming playlist, which is already there in the CodeBeyond channel. If you have not seen it, please go ahead and check it, because if you want to become a front-end developer, you need that playlist. So in that we have covered HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, all of these things, and it's really good. So you can watch it whenever you're free to become a front-end developer. This is a complete Java tutorial where we have covered Java topics, where we have covered core Java, basic Java, and advanced Java concepts, everything. And this is lesson number 23, the last session, which is collection framework. So if you do not know about me, just let me introduce myself. My name is Ritwik Raj and I'm a corporate trainer. I've also worked as a subject matter expert in most of the tech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience, and I've trained graduates and corporate employees from myself and Capgemini, and I've trained more than 30K students till now. Offline and million learners online. Subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, backend languages, database languages, and interview preparation tips and tricks. So basically I do create videos for tips and tricks how to crack interviews. Already there are 2 sessions for this particular topic, interview preparation. If you have not seen it, please go ahead and check it out. It's there in the playlist as well. Also, you can use my code IT10 to get a free level sample test paper. What is Relevel? If you do not know, then don't worry, in just 1 minute I'm going to tell you about that. But if you do know about Relevel, you must be knowing that you have to give an actual test paper of Relevel. So for that, this sample test paper will help you out. It will tell you how this paper will be designed and what are the patterns, and whether there will be MCQ or subjective questions or programming. All of these things will be shared in the sample paper. So it will really help you out to understand. Let's understand what is Relevel, and then we'll start the session quickly. So many times candidates miss out on great opportunities due to multiple reasons. The reason can be like if the student is from BSc or BCom graduate or commerce student and he wants to move into IT industries, he wants to move into developer field. He has the skills, he has the talent, but still top MNC companies are rejecting their resumes because they don't have the engineering degree. This is one of the reasons. The second reason is maybe some of the BE, BTech graduates resumes are also getting rejected because they are from tier 3 college, and MNC companies wants tier 2, tier 1, tier 2 colleges. So this is also one of the problem which is happening, and to overcome these problems, we have come up with Relevel. So it is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs, and you can get a job based on your skill and talent. You do not have to depend upon any degree or any other people in your network. Okay. So what are the benefits basically of this particular Relevel? So you have to attempt a test for free, that is of 1,000 marks, and you can score above 700 marks to get eligible for it. Once you're eligible, we'll create a profile for you, which we'll share among all our client companies and who are having 1,000+ job positions across business development, backend development, front development. And with Relevel, you are in a unique position to invite interest from companies instead of hunting for opportunities on your own, right? How you can register yourself in Relevel? So you can see one particular link is already given in the description. You can click on it and it will take you to relevel.com, where you will be putting up your mobile number and OTP, and then you will get inside this particular page where you have to choose the test of your choice. So suppose you are very good in backend development, you can choose that, select it, and then book a slot when you want to give the Relevel test. Slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. Now, once you book the slot, you can fill in the details for the admit card, like full name, email ID, birth year, current state, and gender. And after that, you have to put down the coupon code, which is RIT10. Remember, if you're not using the coupon code, you won't get the sample paper. So please do use that coupon code and apply and create account, so that once your account is created, you will be able to see the sample paper here. You can download it, and once you download it, you can go ahead and analyze what kind of questions have been asked, how this 1000 marks is distributed, and whether the questions are in easy or moderate or difficult mode, so that you get an idea at least that real test paper wo kaisa hoga, right? So go ahead and register for Relevel. If you have not done it, go ahead and do it. If you have done it, all the best for the exam. And if you're thinking that this is of 1000 marks, I'm not ready for it, I think I won't be able to pass, so go ahead and check out CodeBeyond channel. Check out what is happening there. Like so many live sessions are already there. I think now after today's session there will be no live sessions, but just make sure that you're learning from whatever videos is there in CodeBeyond. I'm sure that you must have not seen all the videos, so you have time, you have patience, you can go ahead and learn and upskill yourself. Once you're upskilled enough, you can go ahead and register for Relevel and try to give the test. This was all about Relevel. You can also join the Telegram channel. Here I'm already giving all the links and updates. Now also you can join, because you never know when this channel will again get started, because right now it is getting paused, but maybe it will again get started. So you can join this Telegram channel to get an update on other notifications and whatever we will be able to give you here. Also, please do subscribe the CodeBeyond channel, hit the notification bell so that you get all the notifications in your YouTube app as well. And also please like and share so that more and more number of people will get to know about this free content. Perfect. So we are going to start our collection framework. This session also will be a little bit long, maybe say 2 hours. So let's understand what is this. Before that, I must tell you that we have covered at all the topics. If you have not seen it, if you are new here and you have not seen the previous topics, please go ahead and watch it so that you do not miss out on anything. Okay. Now, when it comes to collection framework, we are going to talk about a lot of things. So please understand it carefully, because here things will change. Okay. So pehle collection framework ka thoda introduction, and then we'll start the codings and all. Hi Sashank. Hi Manish. Hi Somu. Hi Dhanu. Okay. So talking about collection framework, again, the name and the meaning, right? Every session I have told you this, that pehle agar name ka meaning samajh mein aa jayega, to you will not be able to get stuck in explaining some things to the interviewer, right? So when we say collection framework, the name itself is nothing but collection. So collection means there are a lot of things in this particular collection. So you can see these all things are nothing but collections. You can see there are so many things which is there in collection. We have list, queue, set, array list, linked list, vector, stack, array, DQ, parity queues. There are so many things in that, right? That's what it's called as collection. Why is it called as framework? क्योंकि मैंने आपको बताया है, एक बार मैंने आपको बताया था framework का meaning. Framework is nothing but like a home, right? So suppose in your home, what is happening? In your home, you have different rooms, right? You may be having 3 bedrooms and then one kitchen area, one balcony, and one washroom, right? And maybe one hall area, one dining area. So what are these? You have a home in which you have several other departments, and the home is nothing but a framework, right? So bedroom, we can also say bedroom में हम लोग रह सकते हैं, right? So bedroom was also a home, but then like bedroom, several other rooms, when they join together, they create a bigger home, correct? Similar thing happened in the framework. So framework में जो भी चीजें डिजाइन होती हैं वो जावा से बना हुआ होता है, right? So when a particular thing or a particular concept is from Java, and several other kind of concepts are also there which is designed or created by Java, when they mix together, we call it as a framework, right? So आप जो ये architecture देख रहे हो यहाँ पे, this is one of the architecture of collection framework. This is basically a collection framework, okay? So this is a framework in which we have several other concepts which is designed using Java programming language, right? That's why it is called as framework. Now clearly notice this particular table, because ये architecture आपको हर जगह मिल जाएगा. So there's no problem in finding this particular architecture. Here you need to notice everything, each and everything कि यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है? Then only you will understand programs and other things as well. First of all, we are not working with map right now. ये आप अपने clear mind पे डाल लो. We are not working with maps right now. Map is a different framework itself. This collection is a collection framework. Map is a different framework. उसमें मैं बताऊंगा वहाँ पे क्या चीजें हैं. But collection is a different framework. In collection we have 3 things: list, queue and set. इसको बताने से पहले I need to say that collection interface is also extending with iterable interface. Why am I saying extending? Because collection is also an interface, iterable is also an interface. ये कौन भेजा? जावा भेजा, ठीक है। जावा का प्री डिफाइंड इंटरफेसेस है ये। तो जो भी यहाँ पे ब्लू कलर का दिख रहा है दोस ऑल आर नथिंग बट इंटरफेस, जो भी यहाँ ग्रीन कलर का दिख रहा है दोस आर नथिंग बट योर क्लासेस, ठीक है। अभी आई एम नॉट रीडिंग एनी कमेंट्स, सो पहले मैं थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करूंगा, उसके बाद कमेंट्स पढ़ूंगा, ठीक है। सो कलेक्शन इंटरफेस, आईट्रेबल इंटरफेस, आईट्रेबल टॉप मोस्ट इंटरफेस है, उसी से कलेक्शन आता है। आईट्रेबल भी वी विल यूज इन आवर कोड आईट्रेबल, एंड आई विल टेल यू व्हाट इज आईट्रेबल। बट प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, जैसे एक्सेप्शन का क्लास था हमारे पास थ्रोएबल, राइट, इट exception class is extending throwable class, so throwable is the main father class of exception, we used to say that, right? And also we used to say that string class जो होता है उसका जो father होता है वो object class होता है, right? That is an object class. So similarly collection interface का जो बाप है या फिर जो father है, that is your iterable. So all the blue color things are interface, that means जो भी चीजें उनसे बात करेंगी या तो वो एक्सटेंड होंगी या तो वो इंप्लीमेंट होंगी। सो यू कैन सी हियर ऑल द डैश एरो आर implementing and the straight arrows are extending. So I think there is no explanation which I have to give here because it's already given here, right? And you can easily see कि यहाँ पे कौन सा चीज एक्सटेंड हो रहा है, कौन सा चीज इंप्लीमेंट हो रहा है। Now let's have a look कि कैसे इसको यूज करते हैं। तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सबसे पहले वी वर हैविंग अ स्टैक एंड अ वेक्टर, ठीक है। इन द अर्लियर व्हेन जावा केम इनटू द पिक्चर we were not having this collection framework, there was not even a name of collection framework, so there was only two things, stack and vector, and we use stack and vector to actually do the operations of collection framework whatever we are doing right now. फिर उसको थोड़ा इनहेंस किया गया, लिंक्ड लिस्ट, एरे लिस्ट आया, उसके बाद क्यू, सेट और मैप, बहुत सारी चीजें आने लग गई, ठीक है। वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ऑल ऑफ दीज, और अगर इसको हम लोग डिफरेंस समझ जाएंगे देन विल ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड कि कोडिंग कैसे काम कर रहा है इसका, ठीक है। तो मेन पॉइंट यहाँ पे यही है कि यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हाउ दीज ऑल क्लासेस, array list, linked list, vector, stack is working, what is the role play of it, and how is it basically working here, ठीक है। सबसे पहले we need to understand that. Second thing, if array list is a class, you need to remember in your mind, you have to keep this thing in your mind, that all these array list, linked list, vector and stack is implementing, not a stack, sorry, vector in linked list and array list is implementing to list, right? तो लिस्ट इज ऑलरेडी एन इंटरफेस जिसको ये सारी क्लासेस इंप्लीमेंट कर रही हैं, राइट? तो ये यू नीड टू रिमेंबर। ऑल्सो रिमेंबर दैट प्रायोरिटी क्यू इज इंप्लीमेंटिंग क्यू, डी क्यू इज एक्सटेंडिंग क्यू, एरे डी क्यू इज इंप्लीमेंटिंग डी क्यू। सिमिलरली हैश सेट एंड लिंक्ड हैश सेट इज इंप्लीमेंटिंग सेट, बट सॉर्टेड सेट इज एक्सटेंडिंग सेट। तो अभी याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है, मैं आपको इजी वे बताऊंगा। इफ यू आर थिंकिंग दैट ये बहुत टफ हो रहा है आर्किटेक्चर याद करने को, डोंट वरी, एक इजी वे आई विल टेल यू, राइट? आई विल टेल यू व्हाट इज द इजी वे ऑफ डूइंग दिस। तो सबसे पहले आप जब भी कलेक्शन फ्रेमवर्क पढ़ते हो, आप स्टार्ट करो लिस्ट से, उसके बाद आप क्यू में जाओ, उसके बाद आप सेट में जाओ, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग in the same way itself, in the same flow itself, okay? So first we'll talk about list, ठीक है? So let's try to understand what is a list. Okay. Hi Deepak. Sir, will you bring Mern course in coming days? Deepak, see this is the last day of this particular channel, and after this, this channel will get paused. There will be no upcoming live sessions. But there will be videos coming up later on, ठीक है, या तो मेरे चैनल पे या तो इन दिस चैनल इटसेल्फ, बट राइट नाउ इट इज पॉज्ड, नो वीडियो विल बी डिलीटेड, एवरीथिंग विल बी देयर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर चैनल, जो भी अभी तक है इट विल बी देयर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर चैनल इटसेल्फ। इफ यू वांट टू लर्न मर्न स्टैक और समथिंग, wait for my channel to come, maybe I'll update in the LinkedIn and I'll tell it to you that whenever it comes. But if you don't want to wait, you can go ahead and check out other sessions as well, which is there in CodeBeyond. Okay. Anand Singh, how to start? क्या चीज? How to start learning collection or how to start what? ठीक है, so let's understand कि कैसे हम लोग बेसिकली लिखते हैं एक पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम कलेक्शन में। there is no channel name right now. I have not come up with it. Existing nahi hai abhi wo. I'm coming up with it. I'm going to open a new channel. So right now there is no channel. Once I will post it in the LinkedIn, you will get to know. But abhi koi channel nahi hai. Okay. So have a look at here. We are having a main class here and I'm not writing anything here. But let's say कि मुझे अगर एक क्लास बनाना है, राइट? अगर मुझे एक क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना है या मैं कुछ क्लास लिया हूं उसका मुझे ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना है, तो व्हाट डू? You do main obj equal to new main. This is what we do, right? To create an object. अब ये जो main है ये एक class है, right? We know that, correct? We know that. Now there is something called as Arraylist, there is something called as linked list, and there is something called as vector and stack, right? So let's say कि मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ Arraylist. So please have a look first of all. Sorry, videos are very helpful. So Java collection have all functions like STL. Somewhat, yes. Sir, jaldi banao please. Thank you, sir. Sir, please use English also. Yeah, I'm using English. I know some of the people do not understand Hindi, so I'm using English, but at some times, kabhi I use Hindi as well. It becomes easy for other people to understand. But yeah, you can understand watching my videos. There are a lot of times when I'm using English only. Okay, have a look. So when I already have an array, right? When I already have array existing in Java, like what happens to array? Array is basically used to store multiple values in a memory location, right? अगर मैं एक variable ले रहा हूँ, if I'm taking a variable A or B and I'm making it as an array, what happens in that? So basically you create you create a memory where you can store multiple values, right? Because if simply you are writing int I equal to 10, that's not an array. That will only store one value. But if I want to store more values, we use array. But there is one problem. It can only store one kind of data type, right? Arrays can only store one kind of data type values. It can only store either int, either string, or either any kind of data type, right? Then people came to know that अभी हमको इसको heterogeneous बनाना पड़ेगा. That means we can put any kind of value in my array. So how can we do that? That's why Arraylist came into picture. So basically Arraylist is also like an array, but it will store multiple data type values. It can store int as well, it can store string as well in the same memory location. So that's why Arraylist came into the picture, right? So suppose Arraylist is a class, right? We know that Arraylist is a class. We know from this particular diagram that Arraylist is a class. And suppose that I need to create an Arraylist ka object. I need to create a object of this particular Arraylist. So what you will do? You will write something like this. You will obviously write something like this, right? You will write something like this. क्योंकि आपको object बनाना है, you want to create an object of Arraylist. Arraylist is a class. So generally you will write this, right? But please understand, you can write this or you can also write it in this manner. There is no problem. क्यों? Because Arraylist is implementing from list interface. We know that Arraylist is implementing from list interface. So what we have done, we have just done upcasting, nothing else. We have just done here upcasting. So it's totally fine. You can do that. Why am I telling this now here? Because in threading, or not in threading, I think in exception handling, I did one coding of Arraylist, and in that coding it was written something like this, and you guys were asking me the question that why here it is Arraylist here and why not Arraylist. So I told you that in collection framework I'll explain you about this, right? So that is why the reason that you're writing here list. And please remember, whenever you have a class and an interface inherited, then you should be using upcasting. It's a better way and it's an easy way to do in this manner. So mostly in our codes, whenever I will write any code in collection, mostly you will see that we will be doing this kind of code. We will not write Arraylist, we will write list. यहाँ पे फायदा क्या है? What is the फायदा here? What is the benefit here? That if you take any kind of list, let's say if I'm taking list 2, I'm taking new. If you think that I should use linked list, you can directly do like this. You don't have to always change the class here because linked list is also implementing with list class, correct? So that is one thing which is beneficial here. So now that we have understood this, let's understand Arraylist and directly write a program. Directly let's jump into it because we have a lot of discussions which should be there in this particular session और time बहुत कम है. So let's complete this quickly. अब हर एक list का या फिर हर एक like every particular class whichever you can see is having properties and rules, and you should be knowing about it. You should be knowing about all the rules, okay? So the first rule of this particular array list is that the very first rule is that it can store the duplicate elements of different data types. So it can have duplicate elements in it. So in the array list, we can have duplicate element of different data types. This is the first rule, okay? So let me just write it in this manner so that you can also understand. Because we will write every rule of every other list, okay? So first rule is it can store the duplicate element of different data types. Second rule, it maintains the insertion order. Now, what is the meaning of that? See, it maintains the insertion order means whenever we insert some values into an array, right? What happens? Your storage will be happening in that manner itself, right? Man lo, if I'm writing a particular array, suppose if I'm writing an array, right? How does the memory block happens? So basically 2, 5, let's say यहाँ पे 6 है या फिर 57 है, and then something like this. How do we recognize ki where the value is placed? In 0th index we have placed 2, in 1 index we have placed 52, in 2nd index we have placed 54, and in 3rd index we have placed 5. That's how we say it, right? But here it is saying that it can maintain an insertion order. That means how you are inserting the values, it will maintain that order. That means जैसे array में काम करता है वैसे यहाँ पे भी काम करेगा. It will maintain the insertion order. If the first value is this, so first value is this only. It maintains the insertion order. Why this is the rule here? Because there are some other classes where those classes are not maintaining the insertion order. Those classes randomly it is putting up the memory. I'll talk about that later, but right now this is the meaning of this, okay? Third one. It is non-synchronized. So this is basically the thread concept. So if your array list is more than one, like it is working with a thread. So basically it is non-synchronized. That means all the threads will not work simultaneously. It is non-synchronized. So array lists are always non-synchronized, okay? And the fourth rule is elements can be randomly accessed. Okay, elements can be randomly accessed. That means any element I can fetch anytime and I can do anything. Okay, this is what is. Yes, Ankita, I will talk about that. थोड़ा सा array list खत्म कर लेते हैं क्योंकि linked list में अभी आएंगे थोड़ी देर बाद. Then I will teach you कि array list और linked list में क्या अंतर है. ठीक है, don't worry about that. अभी हम लोग array list में ही है. We are just here understanding about array list only. Sir, but child class specific methods cannot be used, right? But child class specific methods cannot be used. Child class specific methods cannot be used. Why not? Can you reframe your question once? I don't know about that, Phantom. I have no idea about that. Okay, so we have understood these four things in our array list. First thing is store the duplicate element of different data types, maintain the insertion order, it is non-synchronized, and elements can be randomly accessed. So let's look at one of the example of this and let's try to see कि वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, what is happening in that code. So have a look at this example. So we have written something like this, okay? And we are using a lot of things here which I have not told you, correct? So let's have a look. So if you try to find these sentences, right? I'll just separate it so that you can understand easily कि यहाँ पे हो क्या रहा है. Fine. So have a look. Please understand it carefully. अगर ये समझ में आ गया, the next classes will be very easy to understand. Okay. So have a look. We are creating an object of Arraylist here. Arraylist, that's what I have told you. And we are writing list, that is the object, and then new keyword, and then Arraylist constructor. Okay. But there is something which we have written here. This is called as generic. Okay. What is generic? इसको थोड़ा easy way में explain करते हैं. So let's say कि you have a home, right? But now you are shifting to a new place. You are shifting to a new place. So what you're doing, movers and packers have come to your house, and they have them these big boxes, the carton boxes, right? And what they're doing is, in one of the box they have only kept all the kitchen items, and in one of the books they have only kept stationery items, and in one of the books they have only kept washroom items. Okay, why did they do like this? So that each box will be separate, and each box के ऊपर वहां पे लिख दिया जाएगा कि from which particular room is it. So if that box is having all kitchen items, in that box we'll write kitchen items. If that box is having a stationery items, so then that box I'll write stationery items. If one more box is there which is only having washroom items, I'll just write in that box washroom items. So what are we doing here? We are making it generic. What is generic? That we are making it separate, right? Suppose if in one of the box I'm mixing everything, and when you are shifting to a new place, when you're opening that box, now you're confused that what I should keep where from that box, right? So that's not a very good idea of storing things or keeping things in that manner. So that's why we have generic here. We know that Arraylist is an heterogeneous kind of class. So it can have different data types value, right? But if you want only string, you can write a string and you can only store string inside it. If you want a string and int, you can write something like this. So you can have integer value as well. Okay. But here we are specifically saying that we want only string. So you cannot put here a integer value. So this is one of the extra feature which is there in our list. Okay. Also, if you do not want to array list here, you can write list here. It will work fine. वही चीज मैंने आपको यहाँ पे बताया था. The same thing I've told you here. Fine. So I hope यहाँ तक कोई problem नहीं है till here. Now what we are doing, we are adding some elements to my list. So we are adding Ravi, Vijay, Ravi, Ajay. And you can see here that Ravi and Ravi is a duplicate. So it is fine because my property says that it can store the duplicate item of different data types, right? Abhi different data types we are not using because we have made it generic mein. That's why. Now have a look. This is very important. Please have a look. So there is something called as Iterator Interface, which I have already explained you here, right? Iterable, Iterator, both are interfaces. Yes, both are interfaces. Okay. Now have a look. So Iterator is basically what? It's basically used for traversing the list. Okay. Like in array, how can we traverse through each of the element? From the for loop, right? We use the for loop or for each loop to fetch all the items from the array, right? But from array list, if you want to fetch item, you have to use iterator. Okay. So from this iterator, we can traverse list elements from the array list. So we are creating one particular reference variable of it, and we are using a method of it, iterator. So what this itr will do, itr will go to each of the elements and it will fetch it and it will print it. Right? Now have an understanding what is has next and next. Remember that one particular program where I have explained you about has next and next? I think it was has next element and next element. I think it was that function. So what is happening here? You have seen this particular code in my previous session. If you know that, you have seen it. So what is basically happening here? Let me tell you. Now this ITR is basically a reference variable which is right now having the list elements, because we are writing a list.iterator. So this list.iterator, what is it doing? It is taking all the list elements and is keeping inside itr. And now what am I writing? itr.hasNext. That means itr will go to the first element and then it will check whether there is a next element or not, and it will say true here. It will say true. Once it is true, itr.next will print Ravi, and then it goes back. Then it will again check whether Vijay के बाद कुछ और है या नहीं. It will check whether after Vijay there is something or not. If it is there, it's going to print Vijay. Then again it will come back here. It will again say whether Ravi के बाद कुछ है या नहीं. So yes, it is there. It's gonna be true, and then it's gonna say that Ravi thing. And then again has next. Again it will say whether Ajay is the last. Yes, it is the last, and it's gonna say true, and then it's going to print Ajay, and then it's going to get over. So printing is happening from here with this next method. Okay, so has next is checking the next element, whether there is a next element or not, and next is basically printing the previous element and going to the next cursor. मतलब cursor को हम लोग next element पे move कर रहे हैं. Basically next what is doing? It is first printing the previous element and then moving the cursor to the next element. That's what next is doing. Okay, again I'm explaining. Has next, what it is doing? Has next is going to the first element and checking whether there is a next element or not. What next is doing? Next is printing the first element and then moving the cursor to the next element. Okay, that's what is happening here. And this is the same procedure which will be happening in all our collection classes. Same thing. It's just that the rules will be changed. So let's have a look कि यहाँ पे output क्या आता है first of all. So if you look here, what we have said, rules has been said that it can contain duplicate element. So my output is containing duplicate element. Second thing we have told, it maintains a insertion order. जिस way में हमने इसको enter किया है, the way in which I have entered these values, in the same way the output is also coming in the same way. So that rule is also satisfying. It maintains the insertion order. It is non-synchronized. That you can't judge here because we are not using any thread concept. But yes, whenever you will use it, it is non-synchronized. Elements can be randomly accessed. You can access randomly any particular value by writing list 0, list 1, list 2. In that manner, you can do it. Now we are moving into linked list. So अब थोड़ा सा connection आता है, right? कि array list था तो linked list क्यों आया? Let's try to understand that. First of all, please understand कि array list is a kind of array in which you can enter the values from you can enter the values from anywhere. Okay, that means array is a fixed array. Array is having a fixed number of values. Okay, so if I'm talking about an array, if I'm saying that array is of 4 size, so it is of 4 size. You can have only 4 values. You cannot update it. Okay, you cannot change the array size in middle of the program. Okay, but in array list we can do this. We can update it, we can make it longer, we can make it bigger, we can insert some values, we can do all of those things. Fine. But let's say कि अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि in array we can put any values. Let's say I have some values. I have 1, 2 value, 3 value, 5, 4, 1, 8, 9. मेरे पास कुछ ऐसे values हैं. So 2 का index 0 हो गया, 3 का index 1 हो गया, and then 5 index is 2. Similarly, all the indexes values are there. Correct? So in array list, I can add one more value. But in array, we cannot do this. Okay, first thing. Second thing. In array, if we can't add any value at the last, obviously we cannot add any value in the middle as well. Okay, we cannot add any value in the middle as well. In array list, we can add the value in the middle. We can add or insert a value in the middle. There is a function, we can use it, we can insert a value in the middle. But please understand what's going to happen. So when you're doing this, right? First, let's write the index values. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. Now imagine if you are putting up any particular value in between the array list, this is what is going to happen, right? And also what's going to happen is this 6 will have now 4th index, then जो कि हमारा 1 का था, 1th value was having the index 4, but it got shifted now, right? 8th का जो index 5 था, it now got shifted. ninth का जो index था 6, it's now got shifted, and now ninth is having one more index value which is 7. So what is happening? The problem here is that whenever you're inserting a value in between the array list, your index values are also shifting. Or this is only about how many values? 8 values. But suppose if you have 100 values like this, if you have 100 values like this, and in between you are adding one particular value here, तो ये सारे का value का index update करना पड़ेगा. All the other values index should be updated, right? We have to do that. So it will take time. It will take more time. Time complexity ज़्यादा होगा. The code will be not efficient. That's why linked list came into picture. पहले इतना बताओ समझ में आया नहीं. Sir, front-end dev course में L36 session is not available. So please add this. It's important project lecture. Akshay, I know it's an important project lecture, but that is a table-based layout project, and that you do not require. Okay? I have tried to put up that video live, but unfortunately it didn't came, and I don't think कि वो project is necessary because it's just a table-based layout project. Table-based layout project is not going to get asked in any of your interview. ठीक है? It's just for your knowledge that I shared that particular project with you to give you an idea that how table-based layout project works. Fine. Suppose if you are not being able to see that, grasp some knowledge from the next session, which is L37. Try to do it from there because that is part 2 of the project. And if not, then it's totally fine. That project is not gonna make any difference in understanding the concepts of HTML, CSS, as a bootstrap. Okay. We need to traverse the whole array to insert in between, right? Correct. Yes, we need to. So that's why linked list came into the picture. But we need to understand कि linked list में क्या होता है. We'll see that. Okay. So now let's talk about linked list. Let's see what happens in our linked list. 1 second. Okay, so let's talk about linked list. So obviously, if we are coming into linked list, that means we want to overcome the problem of array list. We want to overcome the problem of it. How can we overcome the problem of it? Now, please understand. Very easy example I'll give you. So basically, the problem here is that we cannot insert a value directly in between the array because uska index values will get shifted, right? So every value or every index value has to traverse, correct? So what linked list has done, they have come up with 2 types. First, they have come up with singly linked list, which is a normal one, and the another one is a doubly. Okay. So in singly, what happens basically whenever a memory block is created, right? Let's say this is a memory, right? A box, that's a memory. So in that memory, they have a head. Okay. So they have a head. That means in that block itself, they have one corner where they write the index of the previous thing. Okay. So let's say कि अगर मेरे पास ये पूरा array है, I have this particular array, right? If I have this particular array, fine. So I have 2 value, 3 value, 5 value, 4 value, and 6 value. So all these memory blocks will be having an area here in which the previous value will be written. So let's say 3 के अंदर का previous value क्या है? It is 0. The previous index value is what? 0. So that's how it will be getting stored. And what is the previous value of 5? It's 1. So that is how it's going to store. And what is the previous value of 4? It's 2. And what is the previous value of 6? It's 3. These are basically the index value. These are basically the index values. So this is for 1. This is the 2th index. This is the 3rd index. And this is the 4th index. Now the next value is not there. So it's totally fine. You can just leave it like this. There's no value, right? So just keep it like this. If any particular value is added, then again, ये कुछ ऐसा लिखेगा. ठीक है? Now in linked list, what they have done in singly linked list, this is what they have done. They have added a head to all the memory blocks. This is the head. So this head, what is this doing? दिस इज बेसिकली टेलिंग कि इसका प्रीवियस इंडेक्स क्या था, इसका प्रीवियस इंडेक्स क्या था, इसका प्रीवियस इंडेक्स क्या था. So in this manner, what is happening? Let's try to now see. So suppose if I want to insert any particular new value in between this linked list, what's going to happen? Basically what's going to happen is, suppose if I want to insert a value of 7, right? So यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Let me just make some space here first of all. ऐसा कुछ दिखेगा, right? 7 is the value. अभी मुझे previous index पता है, because I'm inserting it here, so I know the previous value will be what? Previous value of index will be 2. So if this is 2, that means this will be 3, and then automatically this will also become 3, and then it will also become 4, and similarly this will also become 4. So अभी changes कहाँ आ रही है? मेरे heading में, मेरे head में, memory के head में, right? Not exactly here, right? In the memory head everything is getting changed. Here also again this problem will occur. मतलब ये चीज फिर 5 हो जाएगा. This will become 6. This will become 5. So problem थोड़ा सा decrease हुआ है, right? थोड़ा सा problem जो है decrease हुआ है. Shifting is happening. Shifting is again happening. But we got to know that if I'm inserting any particular number in between, then this heading value is making sense, right? That's why they came up with singly linked list. But there was again one problem कि shifting तो हो ही रहा है. Shifting is itself happening ना. Shifting तो हो ही रहा है. So what they did, they come up with doubly linked list. अब imagine करो doubly में क्या ही हुआ होगा. Doubly में what they did, ये तो head था हमारा, इन्होंने अब tail भी जोड़ दिया. They have put up a tail also. So अगर there is a one index, right? This is one index. If 3 is the value, then there is a head for it and there is a tail for it. Okay, the head will give you the previous index value and the tail will give you the next index value. So more security, more precise. So अगर let's say if I have second index, तो इसका next value यहाँ पे लिखा जाएगा 3. वैसे ही अगर ये हमारा next value है तो इसका value लिखा जाएगा 2-4 और इसका लिखा जाएगा 3-4-5. Similarly, this will also have in the same manner. So, 4-4-6, and similarly here 5-7. Now this is a doubly linked list. So in doubly linked list, what is happening? Your one value is having head and a tail. Head is basically giving me the previous index value. Tail is giving me the next index value. Similarly, for the second value, we have the 5 as the value. The head value is giving me the previous index value and the tail is giving me the next index value. Similarly, this is gonna happen. अब suppose यहाँ बीच में कहीं पे मुझे एक number insert करना है. I have to insert one particular number here, right? So what's gonna happen? वो number कुछ ऐसा आएगा. Whatever number I will insert here, it will come with a head and a tail. It will come with a head and a tail, right? And this index will be kept here only. This index will be kept here only. The changes will only happen in the head and the tail. The changes will not happen in the index values. The changes will happen only in the head and the tail. So in the head, it's gonna give you 2 and it's gonna give you 4. And for this one, only the head and the tail value will change. So it will change to 3, it will change to 5. So right now आप देख सकते हो कि नीचे कुछ चेंज नहीं हो रहा है. Index values are not getting changed. The head and the tail value is getting changed. And that's how they sorted the problem of Arraylist. So यहाँ पे basically changes हमारी हर बार इसमें हो रही है, head और tail में, ना कि index value में. अब यहाँ पे एक वैल्यू इंडेक्स वैल्यू ऐड हो जाएगा, तो वो तो आसान है. आप तो लास्ट में एक इंडेक्स वैल्यू ऐड कर ही सकते हो. देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम इन दैट. फाइन. दिस इज व्हाट इज द सॉल्यूशन ऑफ एरे लिस्ट. अगर आपको नहीं समझ में आया है तो जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड इन अ नॉर्मल वे दैट इन एरे लिस्ट व्हेनेवर यू आर इंसर्टिंग एन एलिमेंट इन बिटवीन, देन व्हाट हैपेंस, यू हैव टू traverse the whole array to insert in between. You have to traverse the whole array. You have to change each of the value index values of each of the element. So linked list came in. In linked list, we have two things, singly and doubly. So singly will make sure that your values are having a head location in which we write the previous index value, right? So, but that is not actually resolving my problem of array list. So that they come up with doubly linked list. क्योंकि singly linked list में भी traversing हो रहा था, index values change हो रही थी, तो problem वहां पे भी था. That's why doubly linked list came. Now in doubly linked list, basically what is happening that in doubly linked list we have two things, the head memory and the tail memory. So whenever a particular value is getting inserted in between directly, in that case what's going to happen, not the index value will change, but the head value and the tail value will change, and that's totally fine because we do not have to care about that. That is the JVM thing which JVM will handle. So we don't have to care about this. So the shifting is not happening in linked list, right? This is the main reason why linked list came into the picture. अब आते हैं linked list का rules के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है? So what is the main yeah, that's the same thing, Manish. Like if it is storing the address of the previous value or the next value, or it is storing the index value of the previous or the next value, it's the same thing. Normally समझाने के लिए we used to say like this. In many of the tutorials also you will find the same thing, but internally क्या होता है nobody knows. So it's basically storing the address of the previous value and the next value, or it can also store the previous index value or the next index value. It's totally fine. You can use it, you can explain it in that manner also. Let's move ahead with linked list का property. Let's try to see कि यहाँ पे क्या क्या rules हैं. Okay, so this can also store the duplicate element. Second, it also maintains a session order. Same as your array list. Also, one more thing is same, that it is not synchronized. Okay, and the fourth thing, elements can be randomly accessed, but यहाँ पे मैं कुछ property different लिखूंगा. The fourth property is linked list is faster than array list because no shifting is required, right? तो इसलिए linked list जो है थोड़ा सा fast है array list से, because of the reason which I have just explained you for half an hour or 15 minutes. Okay, so इसमें आपको basically क्या changes करनी पड़ेंगी? Nothing. You have to just change this to linked list, and I believe nothing else, right? Yeah, nothing else. It will work. Okay, fine. No difference. बस ये difference है array list और linked list में. That's the only difference which you can find it in array list and linked list. Coming to vector. Now understand vector and stack are purana kind of classes. Okay, these are the most older version of classes. The linked list and array list is the newer ones. So mostly आपको vector stack नहीं पूछा जाएगा in exam or any of the interviews, but just try to understand. This is also as similar to array list, but in vector what happens? There's only one difference. The vectors are always synchronized. These are always synchronized. मतलब इसमें thread concept आराम से use कर सकते हो, ठीक है? So this is always synchronized. Nothing else, no other change. Let's have a look at the one of the program of this particular thing. So same चीज है, you can see here, same thing. Just that we are using a vector and v.add, same iterator का thing, same while loop, everything is same, and you can put this up. It's just that it is synchronized. Stack is also same thing. Stack, you must be knowing, it's last in first out, LIFO kind of thing. So same particular thing, but here we do not use add, we use push and pop. You must be knowing that, क्योंकि stack में mostly हम लोग वही method use करते हैं. We use the push and pop thing. So that's the only difference. You can see here we need to use just the different method. Other things are always the same. If you want to pop, that means the last in first out, so first element pop हो जाएगा. ठीक है. So if you run this, you can find here Ayush, Garvit, Amit and Ashish. So Ayush, Garvit, Amit and Ashish. Garima is getting popped out. Don't understand कि Garima is the last item. Okay, do not get that. पहले आयुष हुआ है तो आयुष नीचे रहेगा, फिर गर्वित, फिर अमित, फिर आशीष, फिर गरिमा. So गरिमा is going to pop out, right? Last in first out. So ये गलती मत करना. Do not try to delete आयुष from the this thing if pop is written. अगर मैं यहाँ पे एक और बार pop लिखूंगा, then आशीष will get deleted, not गर्वित. Okay, so make sure that you know this, what is last in and first out. I'm not going to repeat that because you must be knowing what is it. This was all about this particular part, the list part. Now we'll come to our queue part and we'll understand what is the queue thing. So in linked list, store the address of next or previous value. Manish, it will store the previous value, address value and the next address value in doubly linked list. But in singly linked list, it will only store the previous address value. ठीक है. Okay, let's start with queue. Let's understand key what is queue. So in queue we have priority queue and DQ. So first understand what is a queue. See, in list what happened, कि in list we were having a particular location जिसमें we can put several different types of values, and queue is nothing but like a queue, like a normal queue. अगर मैं बोलूँ, if I'm saying that in a railway reservation system you are creating a queue, so what happens? First in, first out. So this is different from your list. In here you have a certain criteria that first in, first out. So whichever particular thing is going first, that's gonna come out. So here what happens if you're working with queue, I'm going to write it here, not down, because it will be easy for me. So I'm going to just write it here. So let's say when we are talking about queue, we have two things here, right? We have talked about this. We have seen about it. We have seen about priority queue and we have seen about array DQ. You don't have to do anything with the queue and the DQ, okay? You have to only do everything with the priority queue and the array DQ, okay? So let's write a program for this. And also please understand, priority queue is implementing to queue. DQ is extending to queue and array DQ is implementing to DQ. So array DQ is implementing to DQ. Can we write that array DQ is implementing to queue as well? It will, right? Because unfortunately DQ भी तो उसी को queue ही इसी को access कर रहा है. So we can also write that. ठीक है? If you have not understood, don't worry. यहाँ पे फिर से अभी बताऊंगा ही. So let's have a look. Q, let's say Q1 equal to new, and then we can write here priority queue. Okay. Similarly, we can do the same thing for our array DQ. You can write here DQ if you want, or you can also write here Q. Both will work. That's what I was explaining. Either you can write there Q or DQ, because those both interfaces are being implementing by a array DQ. So it's totally fine. But what is this DQ? What is this DQ and Q? Right? Let's try to understand that. तो Q is first in first out. मतलब आप एक तरफ से घुसते हो और उधर और पहला ही बंदा वहां से निकल जाता है. Same thing happens in railway reservation system. If you are in a queue, if you are the first person to get inside, then you are the first one to get out. Correct? Fine. So if I have a queue, I have only one exit. I have only one exit. So from one place you will enter and one place you will exit, right? That's the thing which is happening in queue, right? Agar when you are in a railway reservation part, what happens? You enter from here and you exit from the other part, correct? That is a queue. But in DQ is double-ended queue. Double-ended queue means that you can either enter from this area and you can exit from that, and you can also enter from this area and you can also exit from that. That's a double-ended queue. So a queue will have only one exit and one entry, but a DQ will have two entry and two exit. ठीक है? So that is what is the meaning of Q and a DQ. But इसको कैसे लिखेंगे और how this particular thing will work, let's try to understand that. Yes. तो यहां पे क्या प्रिंट हो रहा था? सेम ही चीज तो प्रिंट हो रहा था. अरे नो, दो डोंट. नहीं, वो पुश पॉप का आई एम सेइंग मनीष. स्टैक में तो लास्ट वाला पहले प्रिंट होता है, लाइक वी एंटर 1 2 3 4 5 देन प्रिंट 5 4 3 2 1 लीफो रूल. नाउ प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, यहाँ पे आप जब पुश कर रहे हो, राइट? So when you're pushing, you are pushing Ayush first. So there is Ayush, and then Garvit, and then Amit, then Ashish, then Garima. And then when you're popping, Garima came out, correct? And then you're using iterator. So you're not printing the stack in a normal flow. You are using iterator. तो iterator जब iterate करेगा तो वो सबसे पहले नीचे वाले आइटम से iterate करेगा, राइट? सॉरी, ऊपर वाले आइटम से iterate करेगा. एंड ऑल्सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड कि हमारे लिस्ट में सब कुछ इंसर्शन ऑर्डर को मेंटेन करता है, तो डोंट फॉरगेट दैट रूल. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज ऑल्सो मेंटेनिंग द इंसर्शन ऑर्डर. जैसे वी हैव एंटर्ड इट, द सेम वे इट्स गोना आउटपुट इट एज वेल. आयुष, गर्वित, अमित, आशीष. ओके, सो इट मेंटेन्स. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, यहाँ पे आइट्रेटर यूज हो रहा है. इट्स नॉट अ नॉर्मल फ्लो हाउ वी आर फेचिंग द आउटपुट एंड प्रिंटिंग इट. यहाँ पे वो दैट वी आर नॉट डूइंग. सो वी आर नॉट डायरेक्टली प्रिंटिंग इट यूजिंग अ फॉर लूप और समथिंग. We are not doing that. We are using an iterator. An iterator will always iterate each every element from the starting. ठीक है, not whether it is a stack or something else. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे उसका प्रोसेस डिफरेंट है. ओके मनीष. So Q, let's talk about Q now. Let me see if any particular thing which I have to tell about you about priority Q. Okay. So let's talk about priority queue first. Queue समझ में आ गया होगा. Queue is very easy. Queue we have understood that it is nothing but a normal queue. But you need to understand that whenever you're working with priority queue prioritize the elements. So it is processed by their priorities. Okay, we will see how it is prioritized, but it is prioritized using the प्रायोरिटी दिया जाता है. अगर मेरे पास कोई क्यू है, इफ आई एम हैविंग अ क्यू फॉर्म्ड, आई विल गिव द प्रायोरिटी विच पर्सन विल गो फर्स्ट टू टेक द टिकट. दैट इज व्हाट इज द प्रायोरिटी क्यू. सेकेंड थिंग विच यू नीड टू नोटिस हियर इज दैट इट डज नॉट अलाउ null values to be stored in the queue. ठीक है, so you cannot put up a null value because obviously it's a queue and you do not want. मान लो आप क्यू पे खड़े हो, if you are standing in a queue and there's a person who was just there and then he just suddenly moved out of there, so will you keep that place empty for him? No, right? You will jump and keep your you will jump and stand there at their place, right? Because now he is out of queue, right? So there is no way that one queue will be empty, because you know that you have to get the ticket, and for getting the ticket you want to go beyond, you want to go forward, right? So if any particular person is moving out of the queue, you'll be the first one to jump ahead and take that particular place. So no matter what, see, these are the examples which will make you understand कि क्या रूल है क्यू का, क्या रूल है Arraylist का, what are the rules for other things as well. Try to always keep one particular real world example in your mind related to the topic, so that it becomes easy for you to understand. So it doesn't allow null value. Let's take one particular program of this. So let's say this is the program of our priority queue. So have a look. We have a priority queue. We have the queue as the object here. And यहाँ पे आप queue लिख सकते हो, priority queue लिख सकते हो. That's your thing. You can write any particular thing. We are adding some elements to it. Amit Sharma, Vijay Raj, Jai Shankar, and then Raj. Okay. Does not maintain any orders. So, oh, sorry. It does maintain some order. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it is and what is the output of this. We will talk about that. Have a look at this. Head queue.element. So what is the meaning of this? Obviously, when you're forming a queue, there's a head and there's a tail. That means आगे कौन बंदा है, पीछे कौन बंदा है. So if I'm writing head element, queue.element, this element method will give me the queue ka head. Queue ka head is what? Amit Sharma right now. And head queue.peak. Peak means always the first element again. So it will also give me the output of Amit Sharma. Then we are iterating the queue element. So we are using the iterator, itr equal to queue, same thing. Then we have put up a while and then we are just printing it. Now have a look. First of all, have a look at this much. Amit Sharma print hua, Amit Sharma print hua, iterate kiye. Now have a look. So as you can see, Amit Sharma, and then there is Raj, and then there is Jai Shankar, and then there is Vijay Raj. So can you see what is the output? The output has been changed. Why is it changed? Why the output is not in the same order how it should be? Can anybody tell me? How is it deciding that Amit Sharma should come first and then Raj and then Jai Shankar and then Vijay? What is the funda here? Anybody? अगर मैं इसको फिर से रन करता हूं, let's see what happens. So again we are getting the same thing. Can you see? So what is happening here is that JVM is trying to set a particular priority to these values. Okay. So JVM is saying that I'm trying to put up a particular priority to these things because we are using a priority queue. So I am the one who will be setting a priority. I'll be judging who is going to go first and then second and then third and then fourth. So जब तक आप print नहीं कर रहे थे तब तक आपके head में अमित शर्मा ही था. And then when you're printing, so this is what is getting printed. And after that, what you have done, you have written q.remove and q.poll. So remove and poll is basically both the methods which will remove one element from your list. So we have removed one element using the remove method and we have removed one element from the poll method. And we have written after removing two elements and again we are iterating. So there is only two things which is left, Raj and Vijay Raj. You can see that when we used remove, it removed the first value, and when we used poll, it removed the last value. That means anything from in between, and then it is printing Raj and Vijay Raj. So these all things are decided by the JVM. The JVM is deciding which particular thing will be deleted, which one particular thing will be removed. Everything is happening in his particular thing. Poll and remove is the same particular method. एलिमेंट एंड पीक इज ऑल्सो द सेम एलिमेंट मेथड. ठीक है, तो ये दोनों में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं है. देर इज वन डिफरेंस, आई एम फॉरगेटिंग अबाउट दैट, बट वो डिफरेंस इतना ज़्यादा मायने नहीं रखता, बट देर इज वन डिफरेंस. उसका मेन मीनिंग यही है कि दिस विल गिव यू द पीक एलिमेंट, द टॉप एलिमेंट, एंड दिस विल रिमूव द वन ऑफ द एलिमेंट. सो these can remove any element. So you can see a random element has been removed and it is giving me only Raj and Vijay Raj. Okay, so the elements which has been removed are Amit Sharma and Jai Shankar. Fine, that is how queue works. This is a priority queue. Let's come to D queue. So in D queue, I've told you that it's a double-ended queue. That means there are two ends to this. Any particular value can enter from any particular side and any particular value can exit from any particular side. So we can remove and we can add the elements from both the side, and that is why it is called as DQ. Fine. So let's have a look at one of the program of array DQ. So you can see here we are using DQ. आप यहाँ पे क्यू भी लिख सकते हो, और यू कैन यूज डी क्यू एज वेल बिकॉज बोथ आर द सेम इंटरफेस which is implementing with the same interface, so you can use anything. But here we are creating an array dq. Again, please understand, यहाँ पे भी array dq है, that means this is going to have a double-ended queue. It's working like a queue, but it is not a priority queue. So यहाँ पे priority set JVM नहीं करेगा, ठीक है. तो अगर मैं इसको प्रिंट करता हूँ, नॉर्मल चीज़ है, नॉर्मल things are happening. I'm not using here any iterator. I'm just using a normal for each loop. You can do that as well. You can use a normal for each loop to go with the string and just print the string. You can do that. So have a look. Gautam, Karan, Ajay. Isn't it in the same order? So वो चीज़ सिर्फ priority queue में होता है when priority will be set by the JVM. But in array DQ, that's a normal array DQ. So here priority is not set by anybody. It is the same priority how it is written here. So that's why we are only getting Gautam, Karan, Ajay in the same order. Okay. So this is all about queue. Let's come to set. Set is also something like list and queue, but in a different manner. Let's understand what is it. We have a hash set, we have a linked hash set, and we have a tree set. So तीनों को भी same तरीके से लिख सकते हैं in the same way how I have explained you. You can write set and then let's say set1 and then equal to new, और सबसे पहले था हमारा hash set, so you can write just hash set constructor. Similarly, you can make set2 equal to new linked hash set, set3 equal to new tree set. You can do in that manner. Let's see what is the difference between all of them. So first of all, we'll talk about hash set. Now यहाँ पे इंटरेस्टिंग चीजें स्टार्ट होती हैं, क्योंकि नॉर्मली क्वेश्चंस आपको लिंक लिस्ट, एरे लिस्ट, सेट और मैप में पूछा जाएगा. क्यू में उतनी क्वेश्चंस नहीं आती हैं. डीएसए में ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन क्यू पे आता है, बट नॉट इन कलेक्शन इफ यू टॉक अबाउट जावा. मोस्टली एरे लिस्ट, लिंक लिस्ट का डिफरेंस और हैश सेट में क्या अंतर है, हैश मैप क्या होता है, ये सब पूछा जाता है नॉर्मली. तो अभी देखते हैं हैश सेट का प्रॉपर्टी. व्हाट आर द रूल्स इन आवर हैश सेट. ओके, सो सबसे पहले लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम. एटलीस्ट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि यहाँ पे हो क्या रहा है. So first of all, it does not allow to store the duplicate element. अगर duplicate element होगा, so it will remove that particular duplicate element. And second thing, it's not gonna be in the same order. So this is having an unordered set. It does not have the same order. It will have the unordered set. And third one is, we can store at most one null value in this set. We can have one null value in our set. These are the three things which you should be knowing about hash set. So it does not allow duplicate element. It is an unordered set, and it can have at least or at most one null value. So if I run this, you can see here we have duplicate elements Ravi and Ravi, and you can see that it is printing me Vijay, Ravi and Ajay. Now please understand, this is not gonna maintain an insertion order. Okay, this is not going to maintain the insertion order. That's what I've written here, unordered set. It is not going to maintain the insertion order. So you can see you won't be able to identify that which Ravi has been removed. You won't be able to identify. Do not say that the first Ravi has been removed and then we are getting Vijay, Ravi and Ajay. No, it cannot be like that. It can happen that बीच वाला Ravi कहीं से remove हुआ है, and then this Ravi must be having entered here, because hash set does not maintain an insertion order. So these are some of the rules of hash set, and that's how it is also working. We are using iterator. Same things are there. यहाँ पे आप नहीं लिखोगे तो भी चलेगा. Fine. Let's move to linked hash set and let's try to see कि उसमें क्या क्या differences हैं. I'll just copy this thing and I will paste it up here, and let's see कि linked hash set में what is the difference. So linked hash set, it maintains the insertion order. So first of all, it maintains the insertion order. जैसे आपने जिस ऑर्डर में इनपुट किया है वैल्यूज, उसी ऑर्डर में आपको मिलेगा आउटपुट में भी. एंड द थिंग एंड अनदर थिंग इज इट परमिट्स नल एलिमेंट्स एज वेल. सो इट अलाउज नल एलिमेंट्स. ठीक है. Yes, it does not allow to store the duplicate element as well. So linked hash set will also does not allow any duplicate element. It maintains the insertion order and it does not allow null element. So if I change this to linked hash set, let's try to see what's gonna change in the output. I'm just going to make it linked hash set. Right now, when I was using hash set, the answer was Vijay, Ravi, and Ajay. Let's try to run it again and let's have a look what is the output. So you can see Ravi, Vijay, Ajay. So basically Ravi, Vijay, Ajay. So it is maintaining the insertion order. क्योंकि ये वाला रवि रिजेक्ट हो रहा है, ये मुझे पता चल रहा है, देख के ही मुझे पता चल रहा है कि दिस इज गोइंग टू गेट रिमूव्ड, दिस इज गेटिंग डिलीटेड, राइट. सो इट इज मेंटेनिंग इंसर्शन ऑर्डर. अदर थिंग्स आर सेम. सो इट कैन अलाउ नल एलिमेंट, वी कैन हैव नल एलिमेंट एज वेल in linked hash set. Okay, let's come to tree set. So in tree set, basically it follows an order, either an ascending or a descending. We'll try to see which one. Let's try to write a program for tree set first, और इसका rules भी देखते हैं. So I'll just make it here and I will change this to tree set. Okay, let's have a look. Does not allow to store the duplicate element, correct. It maintains the insertion order. No, it maintains the ascending order. ठीक है, इसीलिए इसको ट्री सेट भी बोला जाता है, बिकॉज इट मेंटेन्स द असेंडिंग ऑर्डर. एंड नल एलिमेंट आई थिंक इट विल अलाउ, even if it will not allow, that's fine. Let's have a look at it. So if I remove this particular thing from here, I'll just write here tree set. So यहाँ पे रवि, विजय, रवि, अजय, obviously unique element है, तो ये हट जाएगा. I don't know which one will get deleted because it is not going to maintain any insertion order. It's going to put up my output in a ascending order. So सबसे पहले अजय आना चाहिए, right? So let's have a look. If I run this, you can see here Ajay, Ravi and Vijay. So I'm getting Ajay and then Ravi and then Vijay. This is all in ascending order, A, R, V, right? And which Ravi is going to get deleted, we can never say that because you never know JVM has taken this one or this one. Fine. So these are some of the set which we have talked about. Tree set, hash set and linked hash set. ये तीनों में difference है. Now let's have a look. हमने सबसे पहले देखा Arraylist के बारे में. Then we have talked about लिंक्ड लिस्ट, कि क्यों लिंक्ड लिस्ट आया, Arraylist में ऐसा क्या प्रॉब्लम था. और Arraylist में जो चीज़ें हैं वही वेक्टर, स्टैक और लिंक्ड लिस्ट में भी है. इट्स जस्ट दैट इन वेक्टर इट इज सिंक्रोनाइज्ड. Other than that, all the list classes are exactly the same rules, is having the exactly the same rules. So in all the list, it maintains the insertion order and it stores the duplicate values as well. And also elements can be randomly accessed. But when you come to queue, queue is having two things, priority queue and dequeue. In priority queue, basically JVM will be setting the priority to each of the elements. And in dequeue, that is called as a double-ended queue, where we will having element can be entered from two places, from both the ends, and it can exit from both the ends. So that's why in array dequeue, we say that there's no priority set. It will maintain the insertion order as well. That's what we have learned from the queue. And from the set, we have understood that there are three things: hash set, linked hash set, and tree set. Whereas hash set, it does not allow to store the duplicate element. It is an unordered set. That means it does not maintain the insertion order. So random outputs will come, and it can have at most one null value. In linked hash set, does not allow to store the duplicate element. It maintains the insertion order and it allows null element. So linked hash set और hash set में बस एक ही अंतर है, that it maintains the insertion order, but this one does not maintain. और जहाँ पे आप ट्री पे आते हो, तो ट्री में बस वही सेम एरर है कि सेम चेंजेस है कि इट मेंटेन्स दी असेंडिंग ऑर्डर. सो अगर आपको एक नॉर्मल तरीके से याद करना है कि हाउ यू कैन रिमेंबर दिस थिंग्स, सो हैश सेट, लिंक्ड हैश सेट एंड ट्री सेट में बस एक ही डिफरेंस है तीनों में, दैट it does not maintain an order, it does maintain an order, and it does maintain an ascending order. That's the only difference. Other all the things are same. Queue में you know already, नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा है, priority queue, so priority set करेगा. Array dequeue priority set नहीं करेगा, normal आएगा. Arraylist, linked list, vector stack, you have to just remember these all 4 points for all of them, and just one single point for vector, that it is synchronized. Other things are already the same thing. So this is what is called as collection framework, and those are the small programs which you have seen. I hope there is no doubt in this. There are different topics as well. There are so many methods inside Arraylist. There are so many methods inside queue. There are so many methods inside set classes as well. But if you take that, it will take a long time to explain. So I'm not going to cover that here, but you can always be ready to learn that from any particular other video, or whenever I'm coming up with a detailed video on collection, then we can talk about that. Let's talk about map now. So when you talk about map is also, you can see, an interface. This is mostly like our set. However, we have the set, right? Set में हमारे पास क्या है? दो classes हैं, has set and linked has set, and we have one particular interface which is sorted set, in which we have tree set, right? Similar thing is happening in map. In map also we have two classes, hash map and linked hash map, and then we have sorted map in which we have tree map. Same thing, same structure. ठीक है? Here the work is also similar. The work is also similar. Hash map or linked hash map and tree map also, it's the same thing. Maintains insertion order, does not maintain insertion order, and ascending order को वो थोड़ा change कर दिया है. I'll talk about that. But it's the same way. The only difference in collection and map is that in map we use the key and value pair. In collection we do not use the key and value pair. So I'll talk about that now. Key and value pair is basically when you have a key and a value as well in both the ways. So I'm just going to take some of the examples and let's try to see. So पहले we will try to see hash map. So have a look at this. When you talk about hash map, these are the pointers which you have to notice. Okay, I'm just going to comment this for now. So have a look at this. कौन से ऐसे points है जो hash map पे remember करना है? Hash map contains values based on the key. As I told you that map will always have key and value pair. So you'll have to have a key and a value with it. So key means it can be any digit or any particular value, and value will be any particular value. It can be a string, it can be character, anything. So Java hash map contains values based on the key, contains only unique keys. जैसे roll number होता है, in any particular college you have different roll numbers, unique roll numbers. So that's what it is writing here, contains only unique keys. It may have one null key and multiple null values. Multiple null values is fine. जैसे कि मान लो अगर आप college में हो, right? So you have several roll numbers given, right? But एक बंदे ने join किया, 2 महीने के लिए वो college में रहा, and then he left the college. So उसका roll number तो रहेगा but नाम नहीं रहेगा, right? So that's how it is. Your key can be only one null but multiple null values. Values null हो सकती हैं. Java hash map is non-synchronized and it does not maintain any order. So let's have a look at one of the code of hash map and let's try to see कि ये काम कैसे कर रहा है. So if you look at just this particular example, okay, 1 second, ये सब तो लिखा हुआ है ना. Fine. So main method, we are creating a particular hash map. Now see, this is what I was talking about in the generic. We have integer comma string. So see, integer comma string. That's what is called as generic. You can change the way of putting up the values. That's what generic does. So we are creating one particular object of it. You can write map here. There's no problem in that. Or we are putting up the values. So we don't use add here. In collection, we do use add. But here we use put. Okay, so we are putting elements in the map. 1 is a key and mango is a value. Again, 2 is the key, apple is a value. 3 is the key, banana is a value. 4 is the key, grapes is the value. We are printing iterating hash map, and here you need to focus कि यहाँ पे iterator use नहीं होता है. Why? Because we are talking about map. We are not in collection right now. So iterable interface is not there. We cannot iterate. So we are using map framework, map interface. So यहाँ पे हम लोग use करते हैं map.entry. So map.entry m colon map.entry set. This is how you go inside each of the elements and get the key and get the value. So map.entry is basically like a, remember this particular kind of thing. We have seen this outer.inner. So एक map एक class है जिसके अंदर ये entry एक और class है. So basically this is providing a variable m, which is to which I'm saying that hey please go to that map जो इसने create किया map. You can see here map, right? This map is not that map. इसको अपना नाम देते हैं. Okay, so map 1 is my object which I've created, and I'm saying that go to each one of the keys and value and store it. Store it where? In m. And then I'm printing m.getKey to only get the keys and m.getValue to only get the values. So if I print this, you can see here I'm getting 1 mango, 2 apple, 3 banana, 4 grapes. So get key is giving me 1, 2, 3, 4 and get value is giving me mango, apple, banana and grapes. और अगर मैं रूल्स पे जाऊं तो यू कैन सी हियर इट इज सेइंग दैट इट डज नॉट मेंटेन एनी ऑर्डर, राइट? इट मेंटेन्स नो ऑर्डर. बट प्लीज हैव अ लुक. आप देख सकते हो कि ऑर्डर में आया है. व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड कमिंग अप ऑफ इन एन ऑर्डर? क्यों ये रैंडमली नहीं आया? बिकॉज ऑफ की. नॉर्मली मैप में हमेशा की फॉलो होता है. सो की फ्रॉम द स्टार्टिंग की टू द लास्ट की, दैट इज हाउ इट्स गोना पुट अप माई कोड हियर. ठीक है, सो 1 2 3 4 में ही ये मुझे आउटपुट दे रहा है. ओके, सो दिस इज वन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ हैश मैप. You cannot have duplicate key in the hash map. You cannot have duplicate keys. So let's say if I'm writing here 1 and I'm just printing it, you can see what's going to happen. It's going to give me 1 mango, 1 grapes, 2 apple, 3 banana. Now you can see that it is not maintaining any order. Now you can actually identify, right? Because अगर ये order maintain करता, तो it would have said this as the output, right? But now you can see that it is not maintaining any order because it is taking 1 grapes is the real 1 value, the key value 1, right? So now you can understand that it is not maintaining any order, but it will always give me the output in 1 2 3 wala order. ठीक है? So that's one example. There are so many examples. You can use remove method, you can use add method, you can use any kind of thing, whichever you want. Let's move ahead with some of the examples of map जो आपको पता होनी चाहिए. How is it working? Let's try to understand that. Let me just find it. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So this is a non-generic one. We are not putting up any generic code. See, non-generic means old code because नए codes में आपको generic लिखना पड़ेगा. Here we are not putting up any generic. Can you see? So make sure that whenever you are right now you are working with any kind of collection or map, you have to put up the generic. Okay, because earlier it was mostly normal syntax, this kind of syntax that was not using generic, but right now you have to use generic. So we are creating a hash map wala object and then we are putting up all the elements here 1 5 2 6 and then we have set equal to set map.entry set. What are we doing here? Let's have a look. So basically what we are doing is we are changing our map into a set. Can you see this? Converting to set so that we can traverse. Now understand, in the earlier code I taught you that we cannot use iterator, right? We cannot use iterator to iterate this particular map wala thing because it's a key and value pair. We cannot use iterator. Iterator is always used in a collection framework because iterable interface is here. In the map framework there is no iterable interface. We cannot use that particular thing. But what you can do is you can convert your map into a set and then it will convert into a set. Yes, Jayesh, I have read it. But we cannot come up with front-end programming projects because this particular channel is getting paused. So we cannot come up with more front-end programming projects. You can always find some other projects in other videos. But here now in this channel, everything is paused. Maybe in my channel, I'll come up with different projects. But right now in this channel, we cannot come up with that. So what I was saying here. Yeah, so we are converting our map into a set. Okay, we are converting our map into a set. As you can see, we have converted our map into a set. How? By just writing entry set. Once it is converted into a set, there is no channel link right now, Jayesh. uh, there is no channel right now. We will create one channel. I'll come up with the channel. Once I'll come up with the channel, I will put up it in the LinkedIn post, and then you can see that particular videos. So there's an iterator which we can use now, because we have converted already our map into a set. So now we can use iterator, and now we can use itr has next, then we can use our next, and we can easily fetch our keys and values. So this is also one of the program where you are not directly using this particular statement to fetch the values, but you are first changing your map into a set, and then you are iterating. Correct? So this is one program which I wanted to show you. The output will be random because it does not maintain any order. So you can see the output will be random. पहले 1 आ रहा है, 2 and then 5 and then 6. So keys का order आ रहा है, but other orders are not same. तो I have already told you ना, keys का order रहेगा 1 2 3 1 2 5 6, उसका order रहेगा. Okay. Let me see any particular other example which we can do it right away. Okay, fine. So I think this much is enough. Hash map के लिए the same way linked hash map and tree map will also work. The same thing which we have done in linked hash set and tree map. The similar way it will also work. The same way which you have done in linked hash set and tree set. In the similar way, your linked hash map and tree map will also work. So I hope just find it out in the tutorials, check it out the programs, and try to understand how it is working. We are going to end this session now. It's already late. So let's end this particular session. This is our last session. So that means in our next videos, that means अगर मैं इसी channel पे videos बना रहा हूँ later on in some other time, so again I'll come back. But if I'm not, then I'm going to come up with a new channel, as I've already told you. Please connect with me in LinkedIn so that more posts जो आएंगी वो आपको समझ में आएगा, and then we can put up Java का code, Java का tutorial, React.js का tutorial, and other kind of all programming languages tutorial in my channel, so that you can see those videos there in more detailed way. Because here I again think that is not in more detailed way. So I'll try to create that in more detailed way in my channel. Okay. Please join the Telegram channel. The link is in the given description. You can click on it. You can join it. And also please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is CodeBeyond, and hit the notification bell so that you can get the updates and notifications in the YouTube app as well. Also, please do like and share so that more and more number of people will be able to get to know about this free content. So this is our last meet, guys. I will meet you soon in the next channel or next videos. You will get to know about it in my LinkedIn. I will do share a post, and I'm just waiting for it to get released so that you guys can always be there with me, and you can learn more new languages and more stuffs with me in my videos. Okay. So in my channel, there will be a live sessions as well. There will be a recorded videos as well. So let's see how it works, and let's see what you guys are recommending. We will come back with that, right? So I hope Java tutorial you have covered. If you have, suppose you have not done it, if you have missed some sessions, please go ahead and watch it. Give some love to it. Give some thoughts to that video so that you can at least learn something from that. And all the best for your interviews. All the best for your whatever you are doing right now. If you're preparing for any particular exam or any particular interview, all the best for all those things. And thank you so much for supporting. Do support in my next channel also. Do support in all our videos so that we can also give you more number of this kind of videos. Okay. That is not there till now, Manoj. I'll put it up in the LinkedIn post. You'll get to know. Right now, there's no channel. Okay. Once it comes, you will get to know. So thank you so much, guys. I'll meet you soon. For sure, I'll meet you soon. Tab tak ke liye, bye bye. Take care. Good night. And all the best.